It says you can serve it over rice. I am changing that to tricolor quinoa for myself. And so I've got that cooking. So when you hear the thing go off, you'll know that IT guy is going to turn that heat off for me. But to get us started, I am going to start chopping some onions. So you do this however you want. If you like big chunks, go ahead and leave it in big chunks. Blah, 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 easy for me to say. And if you prefer it in slices, slice it up. It will cook faster. I will tell you that. It will cook faster if you slice them up thinly. The thinner they are, the quicker they'll cook. And we're not going to... There you are! Hi, Christy! We were all worried about you. So I'm glad all is well. Hi, Joan! So, good to have you back, Christy. We missed you. So, French onion chicken. We're going to get these onions going. I got my quinoa already cooking on the stove. We're going to use that for me instead of rice. Mr. 5130 does not like little bits of stuff. Rice is about as small as he can go, and quinoa is even smaller. So he is not going to be... He's not a fan of quinoa, so that'll just be me. But aw, kitten sitting, how nice. My cousin, they are rehabbing a house with their daughter right now. They're originally from a town in Illinois, and they moved to Colorado at one point, and then their daughter just graduated from high school, and she's taking a gap year. She was a young graduate, and she decided she wanted a gap year, and then she wanted to move back where most of the family is from. So they found a house. They've rehabbed several houses. That's actually how they ended up retiring when they were about 50 years old. They would just buy houses and rehab them. They also had a photography business, so they really wanted to retire early so they could enjoy their daughter when she was a teenager. And that's what they did. So, but they're rehabbing this house right now, and this does have a point. This morning, they were saying their daughter has always loved animals, and she's been like a magnet for animals. And yesterday, a stray kitten adopted her. And so they're like, yeah, that's what we need right now is a kitten. And I'm like, that cat was brilliant. It knew exactly which human to pick out. And her husband was like, dang it. I was like, I know, right? Hilarious. But yeah, she just attracts animals. It's really sweet. But anyway. So, kitten sitting. Nice. We used to have cats when I was little, but we found out my brother was allergic. That's a problem. So we had to give the cats away. Which is hilarious because my brother now has cats. The allergy is gone. Which is good because he went into a relationship with his husband, and his husband already had a cat. The most spoiled cat on God's green earth, she was, Tabitha. She was a diva. Anyway. Well, I hope Ruby pops in because she was worried about you. Super worried. Where's Christy? I'm like, I don't know. Oh, anyway, so French onion obviously has to have onions. So that's what we're doing right now, is getting these onions going. I think it only called for one. We kind of like onions, so I'm going to do two. Actually, it did call for two. So I thought about doing a third, but then I was afraid it'd be too much. IT guy's not a big fan of onions, but if he doesn't like what we're having, he happens to be dog sitting this week. So he comes home for the stream, but he'll just eat whatever. And when I say whatever, basically, I mean, he will be eating garbage for most of the week. He takes ramen noodles and stuff like that with him. So he can live the 20-something life. Here he gets like good food, except when he doesn't want to eat it. So, alrighty, we'll get those started. I might turn that up just a tad. Get those sweated down. But yeah, when IT guy realized how long he was going to be gone, this is longer than normal. They usually just go for long weekends. He's dog sitting for his cousin, and they have 3 dogs. So anyway, so there's that. Next up, we're gonna hey Ruby. Next up, check it. I'm going to drain this out, and I'm going to put on my gloves before I do it, because chicken. And the recipe that I am adapting calls for chicken, you know, like the whole chicken breast. And I want it to cook quicker than that. So, I'm going to cut it into chunks. We're going to stir these every once in a while. We want them to brown a little bit. We just don't want them to burn. So, and this is all in one pot. So I do love a one pot or one pan. One pot and one pan kind of meal. That's my kind of meal. All right, so I'm going to do this over in the other sink, so I will keep talking to you guys, but I don't want to, I only put meat and stuff in this one side of the sink because it's the side I wash everything. So, hopefully I can peel them instead of cut them, and I don't have to wash the scissors, but I might have to anyway. Yeah, I'm going to have to cut them. So those will go in the dishwasher. It's funny, I like to cook things like chicken and fish a day or two before garbage day, and garbage day is Wednesday for us. So garbage goes out tonight. So I always like to have the fish or the chicken because it just makes, I have a super sensitive nose. I'm pretty sure Joan is on the same page with me with that. And like, if it's even in there for a day, it's going to be, I can smell it. And by the second day, I'm like, get it out of there. So I'm going to move that. And I'll get these guys out. So, and then even though I'm got my gloves on, I'm going to wash my hands real quick and I'll be right back. So just let me. Yeah, me too. Yeah, Mr. 513 and I have an agreement. He helps with the dishes pretty much every night. Now tonight I'll take care of the dishes because he has to go back to work. He's working overtime this week, but still trying to take Friday afternoon off. So the fact that he's doing that, I will be in charge of dishes tonight. So lucky me, there's only one pan. but 2 if you count the quinoa. But all right, starting to soften up just a bit. So yes, the less dishes, the better. I'm with you. And I'm a real reduce, reuse, recycle kind of girl. But I will tell you, in the summertime, we eat on paper. We eat on paper plates all the time. So, because for some reason in summer, I feel even more obligated to use less dishes. I don't know why that is, but I prefer less dishes. So we're gonna chunk this up. Hopefully by that time, we'll add some stuff to these onions and put them aside. Now, as I've said before, I don't like raw onions, but as long as they're why we all get along, Joan. Unanimous on not liking those. Hey, Leslie, welcome in. We're making uh, French onion chicken. Jeez, the girl can't remember today. So, cutting up our chicken. We got our onions going. I got some quinoa cooking over there on the stove just for fun. Get this chicken cubed up quickly. Good knives. They're like the best thing you can have in your kitchen. If you can only afford a couple really good knives, just get a couple. I would start with a chef's knife and a paring knife. I actually use my wedding cake knife as a boning knife most of the time because it's flexible. So it's serrated, but it's flexible. That's the one knife I don't have that I wish I did. Now my husband he loves a come on. I'm gonna turn this down. They're starting to brown, so I don't want them to go too much. And I've not touched the meat with this, just so y'all know. I'm not touching everything. I'm gonna add a little more oil to this. The pan got dry. He's a cleaver guy, my husband. So, get that off of there. But when he has to do vegetables and stuff like that, he always gets the cleaver out, and he's got a really good one now that we ended up getting at Williams Sonoma. Hey, y'all cook. I have a question. It does taste different on now. This I'll eat on a regular plate, but that's the other thing about summer cooking is that I tend to not make I do more now just because of the channel, but I tend to be a little more lax. I don't make as big a meals generally, but I have a question for you guys because we were checking something out. IT guy will take care of that for me. That's just the thing to turn off the quinoa. I think he will. If he doesn't get it in a second, I'll just step off camera real quick. No, he was upstairs. Here he comes. So, just turn it off, please. Okay. Dun, 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 dun. That's the other thing. I sing through a lot of things. I got to be careful that I just don't burst into song while I'm talking to you guys. But, what I was going to ask you guys. All right. If you were going to go shopping and you wanted to get something really nice and you were going to go to somewhere to get like cookware, where would you go? If you wanted something really good, would you order it online? Would you go to a store? What would you do? Would you get recommendations from friends? I have questions. And there's a reason for it. I will explain what it is. So, what in the world? Yeah, you're coming off, whatever you are. You're just getting cut off. Don't need that. Garbage goes out tonight. So, there you go. I mean, if it's something like kind of expensive, that's what I'm thinking. Is if you're getting something kind of expensive, I always want to go look at it. I'm always a little worried about it. I'm just curious if I'm often in the minority when I do stuff like that. I'm wondering if you would go and where you would look. So, like, say you wanted to get like a Dutch oven or something like that. Would you just order it online, or would you go somewhere? You still have Kmart's? Wow. We don't have any more of those anymore. They're all gone here. So, Joan, that doesn't surprise me that you just said that. Joan and I bond. Joan bonds with everyone over music. She is someone who is very knowledgeable and loves a lot of music. So we have a mutual friend in Ireland who does an online. He's an online DJ, and she's probably his most devoted fan. To be honest, I always want to get in there and I never make it. So anyway, washing the hands again. Dry those off. Okay. Next up is yeah, I love them too. I got an opportunity to become an affiliate for Sur La Table or Sur La Table. I'm not sure exactly how you say it. I guess I would have to learn if I was going to be an affiliate. But I just wondered how people felt about it. So, by the way, did wash them again. So just so you know, with soap. Amazon's outside. It's always a fun day. They do have something coming. It's supposed to be here today. So tomorrow is my grandson's birthday. We will not see him tomorrow, but he will. Mom and Dad have asked us not to buy a lot of toys anymore. So which is kind of a bummer because they had a girl and I loved buying girl stuff because I've never bought it before. But I had 3 boys and now I have a grandson. And I'm like, I can't buy him boy stuff. Okay, music nerd. Yeah, I'm not going to call you a freak, but oh, Ruby, that's hilarious. Okay, so this is some of that chickpea flour I had last week, and I'm going to try that, see if it'll thicken it and do all the things it's supposed to. So, the onions are cooking down nicely. So, just so I don't have to wash my hands again, I'm hoping, well, I will anyway, but not 2 more times if I can make this work. Sometimes I do this in a plastic bag. If I freeze something in a gallon, like a gallon zip bag, then when if I take something out of it, I will rinse that out and save it and use it for stuff like this or marinating. So, yeah, I haven't been there. I haven't been to a store in years. So we were going to go there the other day. Oh, he'd kill me if he knew I was telling you this. But we were pulling in the parking spot and my husband's foot slipped off the brake and just barely hit the gas, but it threw me forward and back. I was taking a drink. out of a bottle, and I spilled the drink all down the front of me. Now, it was Sprite Zero, so it doesn't stain, and it wasn't sticky, but I was just wet. And I was like, we have to go home. And he's like, what do you mean we have to go home? I'm like, I'm all wet. I'm not going to go in there as a potential affiliate. Look like this. It was hilarious. So it wasn't hilarious in the moment, but it is now. So, okay. You know what? I forgot one thing. I'm going to grab some apple cider vinegar. I will be right back. It's right here in my pantry. From side. There it is. Okay. Forgot. Here we go. Oh, okay. I thought it was. I did have the vinegar. Wrong one. Okay. I need some balsamic vinegar. And I need about a tablespoon of that. Anybody else been cooking long enough, you kind of know what your ratios are? Vinegar always does that. In case you're new and you are new to cooking, vinegar, when you put it in a pan, always sizzles like that when it's already But the good news is, Ruby, if it gets on your clothes, you're not all sticky and gross. I had one explode on me one time in my friend's car. I felt so bad. And I said that to her. I'm like, well, on the bright side. Oh, goodness. I need some Worcestershire sauce. Got a tablespoon of that. And it's probably going to flare up too. Worcestershire is one of those things like it's so strong, it's so pungent. But once you cook it down, it's so good in so many things. It's LA. Yeah, Sur La Table. You were right. Yeah, I want to go look. Maybe I'll do a video while I'm in there. I can just say that. I can say my followers asked for me to do a video. That would be great. Oh, shoot. Hey, IT guy, are you still downstairs? I forgot something. I need your help. I'm warm. I forgot to turn on my fan. But it's on now, so that should help. So Christy, that's hilarious. Okay. Do you know what thyme looks like? THYME in the garden? Okay. Will you get the dried thyme then? I meant to get 2 sprigs out of the garden of thyme, but I forgot. And I didn't want them to sit there. I thought of it this morning, of course. So anyway. All right. So we're going to add a little more oil to the pan. Thank you, dear. I'm going to put a little bit of thyme on these onions. This is where I'm a rebel. It says to take them out, not taking them out. But we are going to, these are pretty well dredged. I'm just going to mix them around for the ones that aren't, because there's a little bit left in the bottom. Like I said, bags work really well for this. I just didn't have them today. So, and into the pan they're going to go. Anyway. Yes, the bees will stay away. They don't come near you with the zero stuff, which is nice. Okay, dredge, done. A little bit of wiping up here while I can. I'm going to let that sit and do its thing for a few minutes. I think I want to move that. Some things don't show up, but they're right there. I'm afraid it's a little too hot there for that to sit. So we're going to let that sit and do its thing for a few minutes. And then I'm going to need my Dijon. Sorry, this is the first time I've ever made this particular one. Okay, so I'll need that. Where'd my broth go? Oh, right here. Okay, my broth. A little more pepper. So, yeah, I've got thyme, parsley. My basil's going nuts. It's starting to flower. I need to get out there and trim it. And I'm thinking, I have this one corner. I think I talked about this, but the one corner that gets very little sun, I'm going to see if my herbs will grow there. I want to grow a lot of parsley because it's one of those things like, okay, I bought a bunch of it like a few days ago, and that's all I've got left. You know what? While that's cooking, maybe that's what I'll do. I'll chop up my parsley because that goes on top. Processed seasoning packets. Who's using that? Not me. I don't have any processed seasoning packets. I can't. I can use very few of them because I'm gluten free. So I tend to stay away from them. The seasoning that you saw on the chicken was merely chickpea flour and salt and pepper. So parsley's so good for you, and it's one of those things that like apparently the plant is much more potent than dried. So I try to. Plus, I want to learn to dry some of my own herbs that I grow. Although that thyme plant out there, that has survived 3 winters now. It's amazing, and I don't use thyme as much as I should. Thyme's actually very good for your brain. I did not know that. Again, I've just started looking into like the old knowledge, if that makes sense, of herbs were medicine, and we kind of lost our knowledge of all of that. So I'd like to learn more about them and why we use them. Rosemary is amazing for your memory too. Um, just the smell of rosemary is actually good for your brain. So if you would have like, I actually made some. I have a rosemary where I cooked it in olive oil, and then you can do that with the dry. It's actually better if you use the dry. And they suggest that you get it good and infused, and then you can put it in the refrigerator and it lasts for months. So I think that's really cool that you can do that. And you just open up the jar and smell the jar every day. And it's supposed to help. Since I have a parent who was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, one of those things. Everything that's good for your brain, I'm going to be doing those things, especially if they were things my mom didn't do a lot of that stuff. For example, one of the foods that's really good for you is walnuts. And we didn't eat a lot of nuts in our house. Now, obviously, you have to watch your portions and all that, but walnuts are good for you in a lot of ways. It's also good for your blood sugar. So there you go. Learning all these things, partially because I do have some health issues of my own. So So yes, thyme is really good for your lungs, Chrissy. You are so right on that one. Um, oh, cool. A starter herb garden. I love that. I want one inside for the winter time because it's just like I said, surprisingly, some of them come back. My basil tends to come back because I let it at the end of the season. I let it flower and go to seed because the bees absolutely, especially in September, the bees absolutely love basil flowers. And then when it goes to seed, the birds eat the seeds. I had some in one of my gardens last year, and the birds ate it through February. So there was food for them. And then it came back up. So because they seeded as well. So, all right. So that'll be good for when that's all done. There's some, I have never really had success with dill. That's always been an issue for me. But from what people tell me, dill does better in cooler temps. But also, and this, companion planting is a big thing in gardening. And I'm just learning about it because I've only grown a few things. And I'm trying to expand what I grow. And I just found out that if you want your dill to grow really well, grow it with cucumbers. Interesting, huh? Cucumber dill. So, and my cucumbers are pathetic this year. I don't think I'm going to get any. And I'm tired of my zucchini plant. I already have more than I need. And yes, I can give them away, but I know people who can't give zucchini away because it's like nobody wants it. So anyway, now we're going to add in our half a cup of stock. I'm using bone broth. The Hubs has been having some joint issues lately, so we are, good thing I needed a tablespoon. Yikes. All right, get off there. Okay. But he's been having some joint problems lately, and bone broth is supposed to help with that. So I make it in the wintertime. I tend not to make it in the summertime just because you got to cook it for several days. So yeah, lamb is one of those foods. I don't eat lamb and I don't eat veal. I don't know. I don't judge anybody who does. Y'all got to do what you got to do. I know there are people. I have friends who are vegetarians. I have friends who are vegans. I have friends who are carnivore. You got to do what works for you. I have often said I'm someone who aspires to be vegan because I don't want to eat meat. But excuse me, I'm gonna cough. Oh goodness. But I need meat. My body just doesn't function well without animal proteins. So this is what it is. And I do know people who have been vegetarian or vegan and actually had to go back because of nutrient deficiencies. Some people are fine with it. Some people are not. So again, not judging anybody who has to do what they have to do. It's just the way it is. So I'm going to grab the quinoa real quick, see how that's doing. I'm going to put something down so I can set it on the table. All right. This is tricolor quinoa. I've never made this before, and I've never made it on the stove. The one time I made quinoa, I made it with my Instant Pot. It was a little weird. So, yeah, I think so too. You know, Christy, I'm thinking about trying zucchini fritters. And Ruby, I would love to make zucchini bread. I have, I don't know if you guys remember, but I made like an almond flour bread. Not the one in the microwave, but one where I cooked it on the stove. And it was soft like bread, and it lasted. I ended up throwing away about this much of it because I let it sit for about 4 days. But it turned out fine. And I was really excited about that. And I was thinking, I wonder if I could turn that into a like zucchini bread, make a sweet bread out of it. So I might fiddle with that this weekend and see how it comes out. Although I'd be probably more likely to make like zucchini muffins, if that makes sense. So I used to babysit, and there was a little girl that told me she would not eat vegetables. I mean, she would not, absolutely refused. And she did not speak to me. Oh gosh, forgot one thing. I'm adding butter beans to this for fiber. You could do lentils if you wanted. Again, Mr. 513 doesn't like stuff that's really small, so I went with the butter beans because they're nice and big for him. So I'm going to pour that out, and I'm going to rinse those real quick. But yeah, I forgot what I was saying. Sorry, because I saw the beans and got distracted. So we will stir those in there. The nice thing about the beans, if you add them, you could use cannellini beans, whatever kind of beans you want. It's just there is a recipe for French onion butter beans also, so that's why I just did that. Oh, the zucchini. So the muffins, I don't have to cut it every time. I can just grab a muffin. So efficiency. I'll do a little bit of more work up front. I'll turn this down just a tad. So I would rather do a little bit of extra work up front and then just grab a muffin. But oh, the babysitting thing, that's what I was talking about. I made, and I used to do this all the time with my own kids. Would make chocolate muffins, and I would puree spinach and add spinach to it for some extra iron. I used to do what I called stealth nutrition all the time with my kids, and they knew I was doing it eventually, but it was a way to get extra vegetables in, get extra fiber in, all those good things. And when I told that little girl, and she was, I don't know, maybe 7 or 8 years old, I told her that she had eaten a chocolate muffin. She said it was the best chocolate muffin she'd ever eaten. And when I told her there was spinach in it, she got so mad at me, she told her mom and dad she would never come back to my house. And I never babysat her again. So, oh well. She wasn't allergic. I mean, I asked, and her parents just said, no, she doesn't like vegetables. And I was like, are you sure she doesn't like them, or she just doesn't like the idea of them? But yeah, everybody was big mad at me because I served her a vegetable and didn't tell her. So anyway, which was funny because my oldest caught me one time. I used to make him smoothies. He was a soccer player, and they would have these long sessions in the mornings in the summertime, and he hated breakfast. And I said, you cannot go that much time without any kind of sustenance. So I would make him a smoothie. He would drink that in the mornings. And one morning he came down while I was making it, and I was throwing in a couple handfuls of spinach. He's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I do this every day. You didn't even know it. And he was like, oh. I'm like, yeah, you can't taste it. So it was funny. All right. One more thing. And yes, Joan, the recipe does call for it. It actually calls for Gruyere, but I'm sorry. The Monterey Jack is like $7 a pound. The Gruyere was $15 a pound. And I was like, or no, $15 a bag. And it was only 8 ounces. And I was like, I don't think I can do this. $30 a pound for cheese. So we opted for Monterey Jack, which was the other option it gives you. It says Gruyere or Monterey Jack. So we're going to do that. And then we're going to turn that off. We're just going to put the lid on for a few minutes. Is that the one? Nope, that one's too small. Oh, goodness. You know, my oldest didn't like meat for years. He would not eat anything but a hot dog or a chicken nugget until he was 2 years old. He, and part of it is, I want to say it's my fault, but at the same time, it's not exactly my fault as much as it is. It was the nature of his situation. He he was allergic to he was lactose intolerant when he was little, which makes it really hard to get vitamin D into your kid. So, and that was, I mean, he will be 33 on his next birthday. So, we're talking 30 plus years ago where you didn't have a lot of options like the nut milks and stuff like that. It just wasn't there. And we would have had to go to a farm to get goat milk. So the doctor actually said, his pediatrician said, feed him anything he'll eat that's dairy, if he can tolerate it. He could not tolerate milk, but he could tolerate yogurt, and he loved yogurt. And he loved cheese. Those two things really didn't bother him. He didn't eat a lot of ice cream, but he thought that yogurt was ice cream when he was, and I'm talking 18 months old. He would call it ice cream. We didn't. And so every day he would say, "Can I have ice cream?" And I'd say, "Sure." I'd get out a thing of yogurt. So he thought that was the greatest thing ever. So we still say sometimes when I get out of yogurt, I'll go, "Ice cream," and my husband will just laugh at me. So, okay, I think, yep, it's pretty much melted already. So there you go. You can serve it over rice. You could serve it over noodles. It's hearty enough. You really don't need to serve it over anything. I did this more for the complete protein. Well, I guess that goes in laundry. Christy, I know you weren't here yesterday. Currently trying to really kind of max out the fiber and the proteins right now, just to get some things in line with my own health. And before I forget, a little bit of parsley there, throw some in there so it looks pretty. Oh, somebody's getting a Kroger delivery. So there you go. Oh, so pretty. All right, a little bit of that so I can get them. We always forget to take a shot of a picture when I say a shot. Hi, Tea Guy. If you're close, why don't we come get a picture of this? I'll show it to you guys, but and then we'll try it, see how it tastes. Like I said, I made it gluten free with the chickpea flour, but it's got fiber from the butter beans. It's got lot. Peas are full of fiber, you guys. They are an absolute gem of a food. You want to take a picture like that? There we go. All right, so that's what it looks like. Let's see what it tastes like. Honestly, if I could eat bread, I'd have some crusty bread with this because there's like a sauce in the bottom. You could slurp up the sauce. But here we go. Mm. You know, truth is you don't need the quinoa, but again, adding fiber, try not to overcarb it. So fiber and protein from the quinoa. I might even add a little more of the Worcestershire, to be honest. Um, that's good. We were going to ask about one of the lives next week, weren't we? We're going to ask them. I'll have to remember what we were going to ask. So it's interesting because there's not been as many people in the lives lately, and I'm not sure if it's just because people are on vacation or if we're just not hitting the algorithm, as they say. So we were growing really well for a while, and now we're just not growing that much. So if you could hit the like button, if you want to subscribe, we'd love to have you. We are on a quest to get 1,000 subscribers so that we can start working on the money side of YouTube, because this is what IT Guy and I are hoping to be doing for a living. So anyway, so that's what we've got for today. This is so good, you guys, and I would for sure suggest chopping it up. Just makes it a lot easier. Now, if you're that person who likes the big chicken breast, go for it. I just think this is a way to keep it more moist and easy to eat. I would definitely eat this again. I'll probably add a little bit of salt to it. Might even add a little more cheese. Like if I have the leftovers, I'll add a little more cheese. Maybe even some Parmesan for the extra salt and a little bit of umami. Because I've made it their way. But yeah, if I were to add, I would probably add some Parmesan cheese to it. And I would, I'll add a little extra pepper too. So that's what we got for today. Tomorrow is, do we remember what tomorrow is? Look at the menu. So, does smell good actually. You can just show me the menu. He's trying to figure out how he's going to sign language this to me. Oh, it's the cabbage. That's right. He just goes like this. Yeah, cabbage. We're going to do cabbage steaks with a burger mix on top. And so they're kind of cabbage steak burgers kind of thing. So I'm excited to try that. And we're going to roast up some potatoes. So thank you guys for being here. It's my pleasure to host, always. One of these days, I'd love to do that in person. So anyway, I'm going to wish you guys a wonderful afternoon like I always do. Hope to see you guys tomorrow. And until then, remember to eat well, be well, and I love you guys. See you tomorrow, 3:30 Eastern Time. Bye-bye.